Hi, welcome to the Escondido podcast. KUSI News. After the county sends formal notice to federal government about the contract termination, the agreement will end 10 days later. That's fabulous. Escondido should follow suit. But my main point is just the ignorant comments, that are here. It's just outrageous. Some people are saying, well, they want to buy land to make a gun range for them and get a government contract. You know, you can make good money. Well, you guys do not believe that everybody who is doing all these crazy things, Blanche, Bondi, everybody, they got good money. The administration will screw you over after they pay you money, and they're never going to pay it all in one lump sum. Pam Bondi got taken out of her position before her promise of payment, I'm sure, was given to her. Then they're not going to do that. And it's just what I need everyone to focus on is that, first of all, it is not normal in America to have anybody masked and snatching up people with automatic weapons on our street. It took less than 6 months to convince some people that it is normal and okay. Those are the weak-minded. Those are where brainwashing comes in so easily. You always wonder, how can someone get brainwashed? Well, just show them enough propaganda on TV and they will forget their entire life living in America. And this will become what they claim to know is the right thing to do. There is people with, we have to remember that we also want, you may not even have a gun unless you are trained 6 months each one. First one is constitutional law, and the second one is immigration law. Nobody should be 6 weeks of training and now you are a masked immigration law enforcement agent with a semi-automatic weapon with a mask on your face. That doesn't make sense. The fact that that is not the uproar right now, constitutional law says none of this can happen. If you do not back the Constitution 100%, you should say why when you write all this, because it's not supposed to be happening. So they would know that. They also, if they studied constitutional law before they put on the ICE badge and went around with the masks and the guns, they wouldn't do it because they can be held liable. And as long as they're not informed, they go out there like little vigilantes, like they're taking all the bad people off. They don't have any intel that's accurate. I did a podcast on this. Palentier is where they're getting their information from. Peter Theil has fled the country. He said his program works very well at collecting outdated or wrong information. Also, the information in LA County, though that police department is not even allowed to enter into the gang database anymore because LA years and years and years ago put a quota on them and they started making up people. There were 24 babies on there that had under the age of 1 that said that they had gang activity in the last year. So that just can't be true. And these people, if they are real named babies, real people, they are carrying these fake charges with them because there wasn't that much gang activity that they thought there was. So they had to create people. So it's already a case, knowing that the information that Palentier got is false information, incorrect or outdated, and Los Angeles County already went to court and they are not allowed to enter in anything because of their false entries. So if you knew that something was completely false and people were getting picked up for immigration reasons on false information, you should stand up for that because you're an American. You should want everybody can hold a gun and wear a badge to know what they're doing. And one of them would be constitutional law and immigration law. You cannot learn immigration law in 6 weeks. There's no way. But there's not enough information about these violations or about where ICE is even getting their information. They're snatching people because they don't have any information. They are profiling by the color of your skin. So, and then somehow Stephen Miller's wife with brown skin is getting off scot-free. I don't understand any of this. But constitutional law and immigration law are first, gun range last. You shouldn't be out with a gun. You should be in some form of training for a year. I think it takes an officer a year and a half to get on his own beat. And here, immigration officers are doing quick train out the door and they don't know anything. So anybody that I read on these comments on any of these sites where it's Escondido or San Diego or anything like that, and they're like, oh, I want them to be trained to shoot so they can get these cartel. They're not picking up cartel. If they were picking up cartel, their pickups would be much more transparent. Nobody knows how many people have been picked up in their town, on their street, in San Diego, because they're not doing what they said they're doing. It's just pick up people because they have a body count. When there's a body count, or a quota, you are going to have to fabricate numbers. It's not okay. Please, people, pay attention to what you're writing. We just, like I said, so many problems in America can be solved because Americans are smart. And then you go read comments and you're like, where did all the smart people go? It is not normal. No one in America played on the street wondering when a truck full of armed masked men are going to come up and pick up brown people. That never occurred ever before. It is not normal. You are easily brainwashed. And don't be surprised if it doesn't seem like you're being targeted because your mushy brain didn't defend what's right and wrong. They'll be like, hey, you want to be an ICE agent? Just because you look like a wish-wash when you're posting all this stuff. So make good choices. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Stop being so gullible, and thanks for showing up.